So I have a legit story that happened to me about angels. And if you're a non-believer, that's fine. But this is my experience that actually happened. So I was a flight attendant before for like 6 years. And so we had a trip to Detroit. So we get to Detroit and we're staying downtown Detroit, and there's this little like monorail. I think it's called like the People Mover or something like that. Little tram that goes around downtown Detroit. So me and this other flight attendant, we get on the tram, and we're going to this Greek restaurant because I am a foodie. Okay, I'm like, there's this good Greek restaurant. Let's go. So we're on the tram, and and I'm young, like I'm like 18, 19 years old, and then there's these group of guys, and I don't know if they're like gangsters or what, but they get on, and one of them sits next to me, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like I just feel like I am in danger. Me and this other girl, we're young, and so this guy starts like touching my hair, and he's like, hey, how you doing, baby? Like, and I'm just like, oh my God. And every single cell of my body cried out for God. And I was like, please help me. Like, please help me. Please. Like, it almost makes me tear up thinking about it, because I don't think I've ever like really just cried out like that for God to like step in somehow. And at the next stop, and, to the point where my flight attendant friend, she was like, hey, man, leave her alone, and I'm like thinking, I don't know if I'm going to get gang raped or what on this train, okay? So the next stop, this guy comes in, and he's a security guard, and he stands right in front of me, and he looks at the guy, and he's dressed in, it says like Detroit, monorail, security, and he looks at the guy, and the guy looks at him, and he's like, get back there with your friends, And I was like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. So he sits down next to us, and I'm like, thank you so much, thank you. And he was like, hey, you guys aren't really from around here. What are you doing over here, And okay, so our stop is the next stop. And I was just so thankful. So we stand up. He stands up behind us. And me and the girl walk out. And a tram, there's like glass, right? You can see. We walk out, and I look behind, and I see him like moving like behind us as the door is, opening. And when the door shuts, he's gone. The guy is not there. And me and the girl look around. We're the only two that got off at that stop.
Okay.
We look around. Nobody's there. We look in, and the door's shut now. And you can still see people sitting in there. Nobody. He was not in there. He was not in the train.
Wow.
And I was like, oh my gosh. And she goes, where did he go? And I'm like, I don't know, but he's not on the train. We're the only two standing here. He was literally behind us. And so we get down to where the ticketing lady is, and we ask her, hey, you know that security guard? And she goes, ma'am, we don't have security on the train. I'm it. And I go, no, but he was wearing a Detroit monorail thing, a shirt. She was like, what are you talking about? And so for me, when I cried out to God for help, like he heard me, and he sent a black man to come save me dressed in a security Detroit outfit, and like, to me, there's no doubt in my mind that that man was sent from God.
So I think that's proof, firsthand proof that prayer does work.
Yeah.
Maybe sometimes it's not instant, but God hears when you talk to him. And I don't like to, like, after this conversation, for me saying him, I almost feel a little guilty because I don't know if it's a him or her, but God hears your prayer.
Oh, and God heard my prayer, my cry really for help that moment.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and I can't explain where the man went. The other lady, she couldn't explain it. The ticketing lady, she couldn't explain it. So,
wow.
Yeah,
Great
that's my experience. And however you feel like, an angel will show up. An angel doesn't have to show up for you dressed in a white robe with wings, because my angel came in a different form that helped me. Yeah.
Beautiful story.
It's true. That's my experience. Yeah. It's happened to me.